So, I would like to see Jared Allen. He's a wiry guy. There's no reason Jared Allen should not be coming back 5 to 10 pounds heavy. Like he's not a shooter. He looks like, okay,
yeah,
that frame, he can put 5'10". I believe that he should be coming back a little bit stronger, a little bit tougher. I don't think he's working with his regular game. I need him to be working with these sports psychologists. I need to be working with some people to be like, say, look, man, you're a guy that played in Brooklyn before. What do you mean the lights is too bright? Please, this ain't nothing. It's not the next. So he needs to go through and try to figure out what's going on with that. And then, for Donovan Mitchell, he had one of the best years of his career here in Cleveland. But so it matters. You gotta, at some point in time, you gotta look at yourself and realize, look, if I'm that guy, why would you? And by the way, let's go to New York. Jalen Brunson is doing all right. He's doing all right. They got people out there. Like, you see what I'm saying? They got guys that is
Rocky! Come here!
You gotta, it's hard. Because I think that him, Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, the younger guys in that little Midland era, like, none of them have broken through. Like, if you look at who's been at the top of the food chain for years, it's still the Kevin Durant's, it's still the LeBron's. Jokic is an older player, but somebody got to win something for them to break through. And I think jumping from team to team ain't really going to make you look good. Because if Donovan Mitchell go to New York, they're not going to be okay with win. I'm not thinking it's go to New York. So,
I guess it depends on what the rest of the East
depends on what they look
at that time. Because if you heard anything about players' conditioning this offseason, any rumblings about that at all?
Conditioning?
Yeah, like he's boldly working on putting on weight.
I haven't checked into that. I mean, you'll get those stories when everyone's in the best shape of their life. This guy, it's the best shape of their life. Yeah, so
what? The best shape of your life seems that's hilarious.
Everybody talks about that. What I want Mobley to do is fix a shot. I don't care. He does need to get bigger. I'm talking to Evan. Evan needs to get bigger and stronger for sure.
You got to differentiate that now because, Isaiah.
Well, because you keep talking about Isaiah. You're the only one.
But Evan needs to fix the shot. That's what I want. That's what I hope he's working on. I'm sure he is working on it. He's got to take it.
Mike? Chris Fedor put out an article in Cleveland.com to potential guys the Cavs may still have interest in who are still available in the free agency market. That's Kelly Oubre Jr., the athletic wing from Charlotte, and Christian Wood, the stretch 4/5 out of Dallas. Assuming either of those two would be willing to take a major pay cut and a discount on a short one-year deal for $3-ish million for the luxury tax. Would you guys have any interest in either of those two?
Mike, why don't you tell the folks what you said to us about both of those guys and concerns with both of those guys?
Yeah, I mean, if I asked myself that question, I would say no. I don't think either's a great fit. Dallas traded legitimate assets to get Christian Wood this past season, had him for 1 year, and we're like, yeah, no, we're okay. You can walk away for nothing. That, to me, is the ultimate telling sign, exactly. And I don't think, even though his skill set theoretically fits pretty well next to Mobley and/or Jared Allen, I just don't trust a guy like that who had a team give up things for him, have him in-house at a position of desperate need, and then just be like, nah, you're okay, you can walk in free agency. And Kelly, I just don't love his fit. He's a non-shooting three. He's better than Okoro, don't get me wrong, but I just don't trust his ability. He's been on 4 teams now in 6 years, and he's been on a couple of good teams.
That's a bad sign.
And he hasn't stuck on the good teams. He scored 20 points last year in Charlotte. They had 3 players average 20 points per game. Someone had to score on that team. I don't think he's a great fit. I don't think he'd take $3 million either, but even if he would, I don't really like either of those two as truly beneficial offers. Yes, he's better than Okoro maybe, but I just don't think it makes the Cavs any better.
What about, a couple of weeks ago we talked about Bridges, which is the Bridges that was suspended all last year.
Miles Bridges. Renegotiated with Charlotte.
Oh, he did?
And again, you don't have to sign for $3 million. You can sign for more. You
sort of sign and trade of Charlotte for Oubre, say. But and I was just trying to pull the salary, like Ricky Rubio, $6 million. 6? I can't read my own.
Would you rather have Rubio or Oubre?
I don't know. What's Rubio look like? If the Rubio last year, I guess I'd say Oubre.
Yeah.
But they still need a backup point guard.
Right. And I mean,
They
I know
played a
he's
high
older,
level veterans.
before he got hurt.
I'm just
2 years later now.
Yeah, I'm just throwing a name out of like
Yeah,
that's
no.
how you do a sign and trade.
Right.
Then you got to give Charlotte like they're out of trade assets, so now you got to give Charlotte. If Charlotte really want a second round pick to take on $6 million to Ricky Rubio, if they feel like they can flip him and get something else for him, maybe. But that's how you sort of execute a sign and trade, and that's how you wind up paying guys more than just the $3 million that you have left slotted. You can get creative with it. I just don't think it's realistic for where they're at.
What do you think the chances are that Ricky Rubio can be the player we saw the first half of 2 seasons ago?
I don't think that's gone.
That's gone.
But I think he can be better than what he showed you last year. Like, there's a lot of room in between where he was and 2 years ago and where he was last year. There's quite a bit of a gap in there. So I do think that he can help this team. Like a veteran backup point guard who doesn't need the ball in his hands to produce, like, is exactly what because they've got 2 ball-dominant guards now. If you've got Ricky who can come in and give these guys a blow and can distribute and knows how to run the offense, that could be a really nice weapon if he's right. I just, he was so bad last year.
Yeah.
Like, I went last year thinking, all right, well, it's going to take him a year, whatever. Right. But he was so bad last year that it does make you question whether he's got anything.
Like, has he gone off the cliff? Has that injury pushed him off?
We'll know.
Yeah.
We'll know fairly early on.
I mean, he's torn his ACL twice. Right? And when you tear it and you're in your 30s, that's different. Like,
It's a short list of guys who've been able to come back from that.
Because basically what you lose all explosiveness. So, like, if you're a guard, you're depending on getting by people. You got a guard, you're doing a lot of switching on the top of the perimeter. That's rough, man. I don't know if we got nothing left, but I know they got a shooter somewhere. Sam Merrill, where you at, Don? Can they hide him defensively? Sam Merrill, what's up, baby?
Speaking of end of the bench guys who you can get for very little money, did the Cavs bring Lamar Stevens back after he got cut?
I wouldn't hate that. Although there might be a rule.
There used to be a rule, right? If you do trade a guy,
this rule.
Yeah, because the Cavs was doing that every week.
I think he's off limits to them for a year. I think.
Or was it very shot?
It was Zydrunas because they traded Zydrunas to get Antoine Jameson. Washington bought him out and he came right back.
Right.
And after that is when they
why would they? But like, who cares?
Because it was happening quite a bit.
So what? It's still happening with not great players.
First round. I think they gave him the first round pick.
It's like
nothing.
That's not nothing.
Well, the new rule should be called the old time. I'll show would do that. I would tell him I'm going to give you 700 million. You'll trade these prospects. See what I did there, Kyle. Hey, I'm going to trade you for a bunch of AA guys, and we're going to get a full farm system, and then you're going to come back for 750. Now, the thing is, somebody might just, like, the Dodgers might be like, nah, we're not going out without that. Like, so we might offer him $1 billion.
Yeah.
I don't think it's taking $1 billion, but he is going to get.
He's worth
and again,
he gets.
once you trade, and I think I agree with the idea of trading him because I don't think he's coming back. But once you trade him, it's really hard to get that guy to come back.
Right.
It's a Carlos Boozer situation where you take a guy hurt or whatever.
I wonder how often he's traded guys and then tried to get them back.
Well, they definitely did with Boozer, right? That's for sure.
Boozer was different. Boozer wasn't a trade. It was actually illegal. What the Cavs did was basically illegal.
Yeah.
And they let him out of this contract to restructure. I don't remember all the details. I was talking to someone about that a few months ago, and basically they knew right away, as soon as they let him out of the deal, they knew they were screwed. That he had no, he just lied to them.
Yeah.
He just lied to them.
But in terms of baseball, obviously we saw with Chapman, the Yankees traded him to the Cubs.
Mm-hmm.
The Cubs didn't try to re-sign him, and the Yankees brought him back. I wonder, though,
That's
Right, but I wonder how often people tried to, and then the guy was like, no, you traded me.
Or no, they literally tell him and be like, listen, this is what we're trying to do.
But we want to re-sign you after. I'm guessing that hasn't happened.
Here's the thing. Players don't trust teams, and teams don't trust players. You have no idea
There's no guarantee. But if you're the
how
Angels,
much distrust there
if
is
you're
on
the
each
Angels,
side.
you can't let him just walk for nothing.
I agree.
The guy's the best player in baseball.
If you're not 90% confident or more that you're going to get him back, I think you have to deal him.
Yeah.
But
I hope he doesn't go to the Yankees. Yeah, I predicted the Yankees not to make the playoffs. Now, I had some other baseball predictions this year that were awful, including I picked Alec Manoah to win the Cy Young. But I picked the Yankees to not make the playoffs on my podcast before the season. I don't know if I said it on the show. And a lot of people tell me you're out of your mind. Now, I'm not right yet, but as of now, that's the playoff. And they look like a complete mess.
I think the Angels would trade him. I would think.
I think they'd want to.
Yeah. The Dodgers.
The Dodgers make a lot of sense.
Yes.
Even though the Padres stink, you never know with them. But I don't know that they have any prospects left. They've made a lot of trades recently.
I think the Yankees would just try to outbid people.
But the Yankees don't have a great farm system. The Dodgers have a huge payroll and a great farm system.
Yep.
They have a lot they can throw at the Angels.
Yep.
Now, do they want him playing in Los Angeles for another team? Probably not.
Probably would not
They'd
trade
probably
him.
rather go to the East Coast in the National League.
Would you rather trade him to an American League team or
Yeah.
the Dodgers? Probably an American League team in their case.
Yeah, especially if
He's
you
drunk, don't worry.
Yeah, that would suck. That'd be terrible. Yeah, you're right.
But like, who in terms of the National League, who I can see trading for him, I can see the Dodgers doing it. I don't think the Giants have a great farm system, but I can see them doing it. They're a playoff team. I think
I don't know. I know farm systems that well.
Nobody in the Central. Cubs are not good enough to trade for him.
And the Padres
Do you think the
are-
Angels would entertain an offer of Isaiah Mobley, Amani Bates,
Litter.
a future second-round pick, and Craig Porter for Ohtani?
Close.
I don't know if I want to give Porter Jr. That's too much.
Yes, but that's over. I will give him a straight Porter Jr.
He averaged 27 points, right? And we'll throw Logan Allen in. That's a fair deal, bro.
And a future second-round baseball draft pick.
I'd love to do a segment, Mike, where we ask fans to propose Guardians trades for Shohei Ohtani. And I would like to see how many fans come up with trades that, I know the Guardians are not going to do it, but trades that actually the Angels would listen to in real life.
For Ohtani, or should we open up for everybody?
Maybe.
Like, Guardians trade, fans
Not just
submitting
for
Guardians
Ohtani,
trade.
because he's a special guy. Like I don't know if people realize how much you have to give up to get him. Like, in theory, if the Guardians wanted Ohtani, they would probably have to trade Bybee
Yes.
and more.
Yes. Not if you did it like this. Tell him I got Jose Ramirez on the line. Boom.
Well, that doesn't make sense.
What you mean?
It doesn't make sense because Ohtani's going to leave after 1 year, and now you've traded away your best player.
But I'm just saying, you say give me something they will listen
What would
to.
the Angels want?
That's
true. Okay. Okay. Well, they would.
He got you. He just put you in a mental pretzel right there.
No, that's a good point. G's right. Obviously, the Guardians wouldn't do that. But yes, if you offered them Jose Ramirez, who's locked up in a cheap rate, you'd still have to give up more than Jose Ramirez, who's a top 10 player in baseball.
You
still have to give up more.
You can give up Jose Ramirez and you can give up Biden. And then
The Angels would want more.
and we'll give them Valera.
I still think they want more.
I don't know. I mean, that Jose contract is the best in baseball.
Think about
It is
that.
the best in
That's a
baseball.
whole trade I gave you.
And this is fantasy land that we're in.
Yes.
But
I think if you offered them Ramirez and Williams, they would do it, the Angels.
I think that's probably. I think that's close.
That's close. Ramirez and Williams, you got to deal. Now, again, the Guardians would never do that. Would never.
But think about it. As the Nuggets, all the rest of them teams, right? They got a list of 75 people they got to put together. The Guardians could put 2 out there.
Nothing.
Now, I'm not sure that would be enough.
It's the best.
But that was, I'm not, they might have to.
They were saved.
I don't know. I mean, that Ramirez contract is
It's the best in
it
baseball.
is the not pre-arbitration.
Yeah.
It's the best contract.
And how many more years he got? 100?
He's got quite a few.
Like, come on, McNuggets, that's the deal.
But it's not
Finish
like
it up.
it's not going to his late 30s though.
No, I think he's got,
Going to his mid.
I don't know, 4 years left. I think.
Yeah.
Boy, you get Otani.
Anyway, let's rephrase that because G found
Actually,
the
you can't even do that because Jose's got no trade clause.
Well, we're saying just with the Angels taking. That was his point,
Yeah.
and he's right. But I would like to see fans come up with not involving Jose Ramirez.
What days are you on the show next week?
I'm actually off all next week.
So
Great idea, Bob.
I'm actually up to training camp.
I'm off next week and the first 2 days of the following week, and then I'm on every
So
day.
you're basically off through the trade deadline.
Yes. The guys are gone.
No, I'll be back.
You're basically off through the trade
yeah, you're
deadline.
off the deadline. Yeah, you're off the
I
deadline.
am. I'm not back.
I will do it tomorrow. We will do it tomorrow.
I might have to switch up some of my days off. Steve.
We will.
I don't think I should miss the trade deadline. I didn't think about that.
Because if you ain't here, we're going right through it.
We'll do it tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll do it tomorrow. I'm gonna add it to my list
No,
right now.
I may
So
work
start
those
the next
first that
conversation.
Monday and two or one of those days, the trade deadline, and take off some other day. Because I don't want to miss the whole trade deadline. I don't know why I haven't thought about that.
Bad job, Eddie.
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about quarterback.
And
So-
before we do that,
Yeah.
I want to remind everybody that if you're not already a member of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, frankly, what are you waiting for? For just $1.99 a month to become a starters tier member, that gets you loyalty badges, custom emojis, and members-only community posts. For $4.99, you become a coaches tier member that gets you all those same starter tier perks, plus overtime videos, member shoutouts, and much, much more. Also, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, help us out. We appreciate all you guys very dearly for supporting us here on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.
So we've talked about the fact that there's this new documentary on Netflix called Quarterback. For those of you who haven't watched it, it's fantastic. It's just to have a frame of reference, it's kind of Hard Knocks-esque, except it only follows 3 specific players on 3 different teams. This year, this first season of it, they just announced it's going to be a second season. They follow Patrick Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, and Marcus Mariota. In other words, a star quarterback, a solid starting NFL quarterback, and a guy who's fighting for his starting NFL career or career period. It's produced, NFL Films is involved, Peyton Manning's production company is involved, I can't remember what the name of the company, Omaha Production.
Omaha.
So they're involved. It is extremely well done. Guys, I know you've watched it, I've watched it, Mike's watched it, I've seen the whole thing. I thought it was fantastic. I did fast forward a little bit through some of the AFC Championship stuff because that was a little too depressing to watch. But I thought that, I mean, the stuff with Mahomes in particular, for those who may not have watched the whole thing, when you see some of the stuff with Mahomes, first of all, he calls everybody dog. You notice that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, dog. Hey, dog.
I was actually watching it 1.5 speed, trying to catch up because it's kind of hard to keep up with the dialogue when you put it at 1.5 speed.
Yeah.
I was trying to crank through some of this.
Hey, good Rush 9-2.
Yeah.
Good Rush 9-2.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a good one right there.
It get pissed at Max Rock. But some of the insight into what happened in the AFC divisional round when he got hurt against Jacksonville. And
Crazy.
He's on the sideline. Like, they don't even know if his ankle is broken.
Yeah.
He can barely put any weight on it. And he's on the sideline. Reed's telling him, we're gonna take you out. He's like, no. I don't know. Like, I know he's competition. I get it. I certainly get it. That's why I was fantastic. All right? I get it. He's
So, the thing I get back for the most of it is, people sometimes get mad about the type of money these dudes make. But just go back and watch through the episodes and watch just how much outside stuff, like outside the facility, not during practice. Like these guys, when Mahomes was going to his trainer, and he was doing it during the season, Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah.
He's in there running full sprints and clock times and all kind of crazy things. And like this stuff, I'm like, this is on outside. And I'm like, bro, they do. Kirk Cousins has electrodes on his head and
training his brain. How many times did Kirk Cousins, man, you hear him on the field just like screaming in pain?
Yeah.
It's like, so like you don't think about that as someone who didn't play, but
that was one of my big takeaways from this.
Yeah.
Was seeing, and you always hear, G, you play, you know this. I never played football outside of state.
What?
I can't speak on this.
Most likely I am.
That add up over.
What do you mean? Yeah, they said as long as the dude comes in at 2, because if they don't, then, or 3, they wouldn't have nobody to do it, but as far, yeah. Oh, well.
The course of a 17-game season, when you're getting hit by 250 to 350 pound dudes. There was a scene in the first episode when Mahomes was playing against the Raiders and Max Crosby
punched him in the head.
kind of hitting him a little after the whistle and was playing mind games. That was how he just punched him, like in the arm after the thing. And Mahomes like, and I don't want to curse, but he's like, dude, you can hit me. Don't punch me like that. And he came back. Kirk Cousins was never on the injury list last season for the Vikings. He was never listed as questionable. He was never listed as doubtful. He was probable most of the time, but very rarely even shown on the injury report.
They don't do probable anymore.
So he wasn't on the injury report whatsoever. And he talked about week after week spending 10 to 15 hours with trainers outside of the facility in his own home, just getting his body ready to prepare.
Chiropractors that come to his house.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hours and hours with people outside the facility on his own, after practice, after working with the trainers.
Those guys take
just to get his body ready.
And I gotta say, because I always gotta go back there.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Go ahead and say it.
For all the excuses that were made for Baker playing like shit when he hurt his shoulder, that I feel even more vindicated saying, you're on the field, you gotta play.
Yeah.
Because we didn't hear excuses for other guys. Kirk Cousins, now, listen, they lost in the playoffs. Well,
He threw a pass 3
Kirk
yards on
Cousins
4th
had
down.
a great season last year. And he had the shit beat out of him. I mean, he was acting up the whole year.
It was like I just forgot about this.
Yeah.
I was watching Kirk Cousins on the thing,
Yeah.
and I was sitting there getting emotional. And I was like, man, what the hell is wrong? It was by myself. I was trying to get through the episode. I'm like, man, why am I acting like that? Like emotional. And it's because, like, when he was doing all that training stuff, like, I remember I used to be hurt and have to go through all these different things and get your knee drained and all these other, get your knee scoped and all these different surgeries that you had or back or neck. And I was sitting there thinking and remembering to myself, I was like, bro, I thought there was something just wrong with me. Like, I just thought, you know, am I not tough enough? Am I not, like, I should be able to go out and just play without doing all this stuff. And then it just hit me, like, when I was watching it, nah, man, like, and I knew this, but everybody go through it. And it's the mental, like, I thought I was just mentally screwed up because I'm like, bro, I shouldn't, I don't like this. I'm always with the trainers. I got to do all this other stuff. It's just crazy. I just want to play. Remember, you think about the times when you could just get up and just go do what you wanted to. And then when you see him and you see guys at that next level, you realize, nah, that's every player. Everybody has these injuries, and it's the mental grind that just wears you down, where you just, some days you don't know how you got it. Like, he was sitting there saying, hey, Tuesday, I don't know how I'm going to play.
Right.
And by Thursday, he's out here throwing the football.
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing what these guys go through. And so you were going to say the same thing. Like, the Baker excuses seem so ridiculous now.
That's the first thing I thought of.
Yeah.
When you're talking about all the work that these guys have to do. And the one thing about Mahomes that was interesting, I'm going to mess this up. His trainer was talking about he only loses 3% of motion, and most guys lose 20%.
That was wild. All the neck training,
all the neck
spine
training, spine training, and the
Fascinating.
machines that he uses.
Yeah, it looks so weird.
Yeah, to gain flexibility, and how much baseball helps his hips, and how little range of motion he loses compared to most people.
Right.
And that's what helps him
Never
with some of
thought
these
about any of that
throws.
stuff, right?
Yeah,
I
it's wild.
the trainer seems like a little bit of an odd duck.
Most of them are.
Yeah, that's right.
So about that trainer,
Yeah.
my sports director when I was in Texas.
Yeah.
So the Jimmy Donovan to Nick Camino here. I was Nick Camino.
Yeah,
He worked in Tyler and covered Mahomes in high school.
right.
And he says that he did a story when Mahomes went to Texas Tech on that trainer. And this is before he had moved to Kansas City
Right.
and built this massive facility that's essentially
Awesome.
Mahomes' playhouse.
Right. I'm sure he trains other people, but
Yeah, he does, but
Yeah.
it's when Mahomes comes in, it's Mahomes' playhouse.
Right,
and when
yeah.
he's not there, everyone else can come in. And he did a story when he was working in East Texas in Tyler, and Mahomes went to White House, Texas, White House High School, which is right outside Tyler. It was like an old barn that he turned into a workout shed like that, but
Yeah.
obviously not that extreme. And it was like after I went to that story, I was like, this dude's a loony bin. He's got no freaking clue what he's talking about. He's talking about neck movement, and it's like if Mahomes trusts him, and this is the best high school player I've ever
who
seen.
said
Like,
this guy's crazy?
my sports director.
Well, how would he know?
Because he grew up playing football as a quarterback in high school, and then seeing these guys do this drills that he had never even thought of.
Well, just because they're new doesn't mean they're wrong.
My point, what
Yeah.
I'm getting at is, he may be loony.
Yeah.
He's right. Whatever he's doing is working. But he came out, this is before Mahomes.
Right, guys.
This was Mahomes in high school before he made a
Ah,
mark at
gotcha.
Texas Tech.
Okay.
And he's like, why is he doing this kind of stuff?
Yeah.
It makes no sense. I'm 10 years older than him. I played,
Yeah.
high school football
This guy
in
was
Texas
ahead
at
of
a big
the
time high school.
curve. Yeah.
And I never did anything like that. Yeah.
Type stuff with pitchers.
It's
Yeah,
different.
Doesn't it? See, this is now. I know I can't be the only one that I think about this. When they was doing all this stuff, what they be doing, did it cross your mind? Like, what is your shot?
7302. 7302.
I didn't think about that, but
He was gallivanting through Europe.
Like you and you like.
Which is fine. I don't.
No.
That came out wrong. These guys are out of their time.
But
They need to enjoy their time.
I wasn't going, but what I was saying was, at the level that we want to go, or the level we want to get to, and these guys are standing in front of you,
Yep.
you ask yourself, all right, he has to be doing at least
right.
this type
If
of
the
level
best
work.
quarterback in football is doing this,
That
well, if I want to compete with him, I got to do even more.
And I came away thinking after the thing, oh, we in trouble. Not everybody, but like not just us. Everybody. It's like watching like Michael Jordan, like come from Space Jam and getting hooping and doing like they're at that level. When I see him working out that many times during the week, even after he's injured, I said that's crazy. You're doing 3 hard
Yeah.
workouts.
It is insane how he came back.
The fact he played in the playoffs after that ankle thing
Right.
is the dumbest, most
in the
absurd thing
Bengals
ever.
game a week later, didn't even look hurt at all. I'm sure he was affected by it.
I mean, we talked about
He
it
didn't
hurting.
look hurt at all in that game.
He said mentally, I had to tell myself it didn't hurt so many times till I convinced
Right.
myself I just wasn't in pain.
Yeah.
One thing I want to talk about with Mahomes, and we'll get into a little bit of the Mariota stuff, which
Yeah.
I could have done without, but when they talked about the process in practice of coming up with some of their diabolical plays, like the Pokemon play they ran in the
That
Super
was
Bowl,
wild. Yeah.
I'm curious, and Jason, I wonder if you know. Mahomes talked, and Kelsey talked about this too, on a different podcast, but it lined up. They have a period of practice every week where players can come in with trick plays and present it to Andy Reid. They'll run it, and if Reid likes it, they'll try to tweak it and put it in
Well,
place.
if Reed and Mahomes like it,
Yeah, I'm saying if it
Right,
gets
yeah.
approved, but like anyone can come in, an offensive lineman come in with
he
a play.
encourages
He encourages the
to be
players to
creative
kind of
with
come up with
That's
plays.
crazy.
Is that commonplace around the NFL? Is that an Andy Reid special?
I haven't heard of that before. Now again, I spent most of my career in the NBA, not the NFL. But in the last few years I've been around the NFL, I have not heard of that. It doesn't mean it's not happening. I could see Kevin being open to something like that.
He should be. Every coach should be.
Yeah, I can see that. He's actually very collaborative, but I haven't heard of any specific period. I'll ask around. I'll poke around on that and see if that's common or not.
It just seems really cool that Andy Reid, maybe one of, if not a top Mount Rushmore level offensive line in the history of the sport.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, if you have an idea, let me see it. If I like it, we'll figure out a way to make it work.
I thought it was fascinating to see. I mean, their lives are very